Right, good morning, welcome back. Now, if you make videos like this or you watch videos like this commonly, you'll know that it's a very straightforward process. You strip the bike all apart, you restore all those parts and you reassemble those parts. Ever so easy. But now and again you get to that point where you've run out of restored parts to reassemble, and I'm right there now. I've got to do a few more bits and pieces, and today I've decided to pick on this little pile. Simple job today is going to be to just polish up the headlight mounting bracket. I'm going to use the factory one. I think they look great and I've got some plans for that as well, so it just needs a clean up. The speedo, as you can see, is in a dreadful state. The back of the speedometer faces the direction of travel, and look what's happened. Absolutely destroyed by the weather. So that's got to be stripped apart, take the speedometer out of it, isolate all the metal parts of the shell, and then deal with them in the normal way. And the same goes for the switch blocks. These metal casings under the switches, they're all the same, the paint's flaking off. So today it's a standard process of the same old stuff: strip it, clean it, prep it, paint it. So let's do it. Right, little restoration tip if you're going to do this yourself. These little Allen screws on the back plate of the Speedo, they've been facing the weather for 20 years. They're not minced out or anything, they're just full of rust. So to get rid of the rust, I use a Torx bit. The corresponding size Torx bit has got those sharp corners, and if you just line it up so it's in the top, then take nothing heavier than a screwdriver handle and just tap it down into that little screw, just to chase the rust all the way down and clean the corners of the Allen screw out. And then with a sharp pick, you can gently dig the rust dust out of the bottom, blow it out, and get that hole in the Allen screw as clean as possible, as fresh and crisp and sharp as possible before you put the Allen key in it to undo it. And if you're going to use an Allen key, use a fresh one. If you've got a fresh Allen key that's hardly ever been used, it's nice and crisp on the corners and it will get the best possible grip. If it starts to slip and you know it's going to strip out, stop and go to the Torx bit, because the Torx bit will bite on it. It will bite up as it minces and it will undo it. But hopefully, having cleaned that out, this fresh Allen key should do the job. Shall we see? Just like that. And the screw is in lovely clean condition still. And before anyone says just use the Torx bit in the first place, well, that will chew the screw up, even if it's healthy in the first place. The Torx bit is a last resort. If you just clean the hole out properly and use a fresh, crisp Allen key, it should work pretty much most of the time. Right, by some miracle, the factory wrinkle finish on the front half of the Speedo is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Just needs a clean up. It's only the back plate itself that was really corroded. So that I need to paint, but the rest of it, just to wipe over and put it with the shiny bits. Nice when it goes like that. Okay, another little restoration tip for you. Old rubber parts. Now, with the obvious exception of tyres, you can restore old rubber parts and make them live again. This is the headlight seal that's been doing its job very effectively for the last 20 years on the front of the headlight shell, sealing out the weather. Weather that did that to the back of the Speedo that lives right there above it. So it's a very effective seal, as you can see. Take a look at the wiring that lives right behind it. All those plugs, as you can see, they look absolutely brand new. So I want this to continue doing its job. I don't want to have to replace it. It has gone a little bit stiff. Natural, after 20 years, it's just rubber. So I take some red rubber grease, smear it all over, massage it in, set it down, and just leave it for about a week, and it will definitely soften it up. It definitely works. And of course, the rubber grease is designed for rubber, so no, it won't cause a problem. It will just simply restore it, make it all supple again. And then when you're ready, just wipe it all off, buff it up, you can put it back on the bike, and it will continue to seal the headlight for decades to come. Right, if I can pass on one third and final tip for today, that is never undervalue the power of cleaning. Now, these switch blocks, when I took a quick squint at them, they looked awful, all nasty and filthy and corroded, and I thought they'd all need stripping off and repainting. But on closer inspection and get the degreaser out, and actually most of it just wiped off. What was on there was a thick layer of grime. And a thick layer of grime is actually quite protective. It keeps the weather out. So now they're all cleaned up. There's only one of the 4 castings actually is flaking off and needs a proper restoration. The others all cleaned up very nicely. Happy days. So I can put those to one side. Now they're all clean. And these 2 pieces just need stripping off, cleaning up, repainting. And for today, we're done.